They were the good old days, the all or nothing days. And on this edition of MMA Confidential, we pay tribute to the glory days of mixed martial arts. Hey everybody, I'm Max Rich for Intersect TV. The name Shamrock goes hand in hand with MMA legendary status. Ken Shamrock is the world's most dangerous man, and his brother Frank is the legend. Well, our own legend, Bruce Kevo, met up with the legend for a very confidential talk.
I'm here with the legendary Frank Shamrock. Frank, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm very good.
And what's the news with you and your brother? You guys going to get it on, or what's the story?
I don't know. So we're kind of just putting the hatred on hold. Our dad passed and kind of bringing the family together. But, you know, it's something we're still working for and we'd like to do. But right now we're just kind of healing.
Yeah, my condolences on that. Your dad was a great man. He helped a lot of kids. I didn't know that he helped Jens Pulver also. Yeah. How are you going to remember your dad for what he did for the sport and for all these young people?
Well, I mean, you know, to me, and I met him in a group home. You know, I was a kid that had never had a father. So, I mean, to me, he was my first dad. And he was that man to a lot of people. And I'm going to remember him, you know, as being a good man, you know, that helped a lot of people. And that's, you know, I honor him by trying to be a good man and help people. You know, he saved me, you know, and I owe it to him to do it to as many people as possible, for as many people as possible.
And it seems like a lot of guys in the sport, you know, when you read their books, you find out that they were raised without a father or they had a bad parent. Do you see that a lot in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a reason why somebody is fighting. I call it working out your issues, but there's a reason why somebody's fighting, and usually it's because, you know, something's hurt them or something's made them extra hungry. And a lot of times the loss of a parent or guardian or somebody to guide you, and, you know, it's a rough path you find yourself into. And for a lot of people, like me, you know, mixed martial arts digs you out of that hole and puts you on the right path.
And Frank, to me and to many people in the sport, you're considered one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in the world. How do you want to be remembered as a fighter and as a man?
I mean, as a fighter, I just want people to remember me as somebody who always went for it. You know, always tried. You know, if my arm is broke, you can bet I'm trying to win. And you know, that to me is what a champion was about. And I want people to remember that about me. And as a man, I know this. You pass the same people up as you do on the way down. And I always shake their hand and say a kind word to them. Because who knows if you're going up or going down. To me, it's just life. And I want people to remember me as a man that was honest, stood for something, and kept his word.
I've seen you in action, you know, like that. I remember when you were fighting with a torn ACL, torn MCL against Baroni, and Baroni was all upset. You know, he felt really bad that he lost, and you came and you cheered him up. You told him, Phil, you got hands like hams, and you gave him a warm feeling. You made him feel good. How do you come to do that all the time?
Well, I mean, I grew up pretty lonely, and I grew up without a lot of family, so it's rare that you experience something like Phil and I went through. I mean, we beat the crap out of each other for a long time, and nobody else understands how that feels. And Phil and I went through something. We're joined together, and we also left something in that ring. You know, I had to go to Phil to give something back to him because I took something from him that night. I took a piece of his manhood and a piece of his soul, and I needed to give that back to him. And now we're friends.
And before we close, what's next for you in Strike Force?
Strike Force, they want me back in May, so find somebody to beat up and I'll be there.
You heard it first from Frank Shamrock, and I'm Bruce Kevo, MMA Confidential, and we'll see you at the fights.